Hi, it's Dr. Robinson, and today we are going to do Desmos.com 3D. I'm going to show you how to create 3D objects using Desmos Graphing Calculator. And I am a teacher of the blind, so of course, anyone working with low vision and blind students, you need to get all the 3D objects, and so you can manipulate them as the child is learning how to create them. Now, I have taken all of these particular objects directly from the Desmos blog, but we're going to have a little fun and adjust them. Okay, so let me see where I'm at. Let me hit E for edit, and I'm no place. Now try it.
Expression 1, x squared plus y squared equals 9 as graph, edit, blank.
Okay, so we're dealing with, proposedly, it looks like this, a beautiful circle. There is no audio with this yet. It is beta. If you're visual, you can actually see those words, welcome to Desmos 3D beta. And you're going to go ahead and insert F7. You're going to go to read our blog and try a quest. We'll do that in just a moment. But I want to go ahead and start manipulating these beautiful
Desmos graphic expression 1,
expressions.
plus y squared equals 9 as graph, edit, blank, type of text.
So this is visually for all those people who have sight, so you can actually see me manipulate this circle. I'm going to go ahead and erase 9 and just make it much, much smaller by making it 3. And so you, of course, will have this in hard copy. This reads flawlessly from a Braille display. I've got my Braille display on right now, and it reads all of this problem really nicely for me. But of course, as the child manipulates the numbers, you want to be able to create that for them. And I'm going to go ahead and tab. And I want to extend to 3D. And now it becomes 3D. So what you want to do is turn this into a 3D item. So I'm going to go ahead and Control-Alt-G. Escape once, Shift Tab. And enter. And now it becomes a beautiful cylinder. So of course, grab a nice can. And then the child can go back and start manipulating the circumference of that once again. While I am here, Control-Alt-G gets me to my settings. I'm going to just do that again. So this works beautifully for a low vision student. I'm going to hit spacebar and reverse contrast. And I'm actually going to add translucent in here also. So I'm going to tab and check it. So it makes the can or cylinder translucent. So you can actually see the arrows go all the way through it. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck these.
Reverse contrast space, not checked.
And tab.
Perspective distortion ratio left right slider, 98%.
So it's at 98% right now, but the child can go ahead and left arrow.
95%.
Now, what's going to happen is a sighted student just takes their mouse and they manipulate that. So the person working with the blind student, of course, is going to go ahead and take the can so they can manipulate it, turn it around in circles. So they can see as the axis changes, so does that cylinder or object.
72%,
okay?
72%, 72%, 72%.
And it's down to 72%. You can keep tabbing, and of course you can decide whether you want your XY plane, your numbers or labels. I prefer all of them on, and of course the axis. So if you're low vision, you're going to be able to pick that up really quickly. And of course, if you are working with a blind student, you're going to have all of these 3D items right at their disposal. So let's go ahead and hit escape. And I'm going to hit E for edit again. And I'm going to Control-Alt-X.
Expression list region, expression 2,
and down there, I'm going to manipulate 6, and of course, it makes the cylinder much, much larger. Okay. Control-Alt-X is a new edit box. I would have to change my cursor, insert Z, turn it back on, and E for edit. So there's different commands there. Let's Control-Tab.
Adjustable cup Desmos, graph settings button menu black.
Okay, adjustable cup, or it does start out as a parabola. And of course, you can adjust this also. And all of these, once again, come from the Desmos site, which I will show you.
Desmos graphic calculator, 3-dimensional graph paper, X, Y, and Z axis visible from -2.5 to 2.5. Grid lines are visible, graph paper.
Okay, so you can tab, and that's the information that you get right now. I'm hoping they come up with some really cool audio feedback for that. So, and of course, you just change the numbers in your graphs, and the parabola or the adjustable cup gets larger. And actually, I think I'm going to do that. Just insert Z. And turn it back on.
Bracket the top, expression 1, Z equals X squared plus DY squared as graph, edit, blank.
Now, if you want to manipulate all these, now there's under insert F5, but you can tab.
Expression list region. Delete expression 1 button
Nope.
to add. Hide expression 1 button
Nope.
to add. Expression 2 b equals 1 edit. Blank.
Okay, let's get rid of 1 and make it a 3.
3.
Okay. And of course, it actually starts adjusting everything as you change your B and your A. I'm going to put it back to 1.
1.
And you can actually tab.
Delete expression. Slider minimum. Slider maximum. 1. Slider steps. B left right. Slider maximum. Play the animation button.
And you can play it.
Space. Pause the animation. Be played.
Okay. So if I go back up to the power ofs, ax to the power of 2 plus by to the power of 2, and adjust those, it actually becomes that big blob that you're seeing, one increment at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and shift tab.
Slider max. B left. Slide. Delete. Unselect. Hide. Delete expression. Expression 1. Z equals X.
Once again, cursor on, Shift D. You've got lots of different ways that you can do this. I'm going to go ahead and backspace
Blank. 2.
and get rid of 2.
3.
Put a 3. And of course, now visually you can see this parabola becoming a blob. So you want to get like material or paper, kind of twist it so the child understands that if you change your variables and of course your numbers, the blob changes with it to something that's really noticeable to something that's not so noticeable. Okay, let's control tab.
Straight line. Desmos. Help button menu collapsed.
Okay, straight line, that's pretty self-explanatory. And of course, based on the size of your dots, let's go ahead and see where I'm at.
Language button menu. Press space to activate.
Language, hit E. And I love that. Insert Z. Off, on,
expression 1. L equals left bracket.
and enter.
3.5. Enter. Expression 1. L equals left bracket. -4. -3.5.
So let's go ahead and adjust this a little bit.
4. 3.
And once again, this is on my braille display.
3.
We're going to adjust -4
4.
to number 8. And of course, that's going to
bracket. -8. -3.5.
really muck up my graph, but or just change it tremendously. And I can undo that
Expression 1. L equals left
and
bracket. -4.
put it right back to 4. And of course, you have a beautiful vertical line there. Okay, let's go ahead and control tab.
Blob Desmos. Visit link. Read blob.
Okay, so the blob is a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and see where my cursor's at.
Expression 1. X
Oh.
squared plus y squared plus z
Yeah,
squared.
right off the bat, first thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and change the 4. Now, what I would suggest for the blob is actually get a piece of clay and really manipulate it. Put it to, 4 degrees as much as you possibly can. And then you're just going to start changing it slightly. Let's change Z first. Oh yeah, and it makes it just a little more blobby with a couple of pieces out of it. Let's go ahead and keep going. And let's change that to 6. And as you change the numbers, once again, you're going to adjust that piece of clay so the student can see how, based on the math that they're doing, it is really changing what the blob is. Of course, if they needed this for a test and you actually had a 3D printer, how cool would that be? But we don't have to worry about that right now. Let's go ahead and control tab.
Desmos graphic calculator people.
Okay, so you can learn your shortcuts, desmos.com/graphing shortcuts. And all your shortcuts are here. So as you need to memorize what the commands are, and kids remember this very, very quickly. You have 4 functions: scientific, graphing, geometry, and 3D beta. They're constantly making improvements. So let's go ahead and go back. Let me show you how to get there really quickly again. I want to insert F7.
Links list dialog. Links list new. Feedback Desmos.
There's feedback. Please give them feedback. And
Read our blog. 505.
read our blog. And this is where all this information came from. I'm going to hit enter.
Enter. Introducing Desmos Studio 3D.
And here you are. So you have even more information on this. This is blog.desmos.com/articles/beta-3D-release. And you can read more information on it and continue to follow the progress of these 3D items. But this is just one more tool in the powerhouse of our tools for our blind and low vision students. Okay, I hope that helped, and let's go forwards. And wow, just have an incredible time out there with math.
You have started screen share. Alt Q. Add meeting for enter.